here. It's
We made another week.
It's another hump day. Yay, we made it. Welcome to Sweet Subversives, friends. Oh my God, right?
Yeah.
What a day. I'm having a beer, honestly, like right away.
You're like, let's get to the drinks.
Yes.
Sometimes you have that kind of day.
It is that kind of day, and I'm like, oh, I am having a Yingling, which they don't even sell in Minnesota, and we had our beer mules, our in-laws came up from Florida with it and brought me it. So I'm enjoying the heck out of my illegal Yingling. It's not illegal.
Beer mules. I like it.
Beer mules. It almost makes me think somebody's putting beer bottles up their butts, but I'm like, it would be the worst way. I'm like, do you really want to drink this beer? And you're like,
you wouldn't be able to bring much.
Unless they're very talented. If somebody can get a whole case of beer up there, you're like, you are very talented.
That's some serious keystering.
I don't know. I would feel bad. I'd be like, oh, I didn't really need that much beer.
Yeah, especially asking your in-laws.
Like, wow, you could have just put it in your trunk, not in your trunk. Like you drove. I don't know why you had to put it in your butt the whole way.
So why is Yingling so good?
Yingling it's delicious and caramely, but it is also the oldest brewery, America's oldest brewery. So, and it also says on the label. So, we have one of the oldest breweries in Minnesota, Shell's Brewery, but this one beats it. It's a little older.
Well,
they've been doing it a long time.
Exactly. They should probably have it down. So my drink tonight is inspired by a question I asked on my Facebook.
Yes. Which question?
On the Facebooks.
On the Facebooks? That's not how it works.
That's not how any of this works. So I asked, if you were going to be a snowbird, where would you fly to?
Oh, yeah.
And that made me think of Greece, because that's where I would fly to. That's
I know it.
And when we went there, I love saying this, when we stayed at a villa in Greece, which is
pictures, it was amazing.
It was amazing, for real. But it was also like super cheap. Oh my God.
I know.
But the people that owned the place had like a olive orchard, and they had other stuff on this property, and so they made their own liqueurs. And so we got a herbal one and we got a rose liqueur because they had tons of roses. So this is the first time I'm tasting the herbal liqueur.
Oh, what's it like? Does it smell herby? Or is it medicine-y? No, you're like,
it's really good.
Oh, God, good. That is awesome, Kara.
Really good. I mean, it is herbal, but it's also kind of slightly sweet and lemony. It's really good. I mean, it's really good. So yeah, I want some more. But yeah, so they made these.
That's so cool.
Like, I'm just back from visiting my kids in Colorado, and I ate everything in the state. Like, everyone in Colorado now has to starve because I ate all of it. I ate all of it.
It's like Hurricane Katrina, but it's Hurricane Kara came through and she ate all the food.
And my stomach is so hosed up. So I thought, well, maybe I'll do like a little aperitif tonight.
That might settle your tummy a bit. Yeah, and your nerves, if you have any left from our wonderful state.
I don't. I don't
either.
So we have an exciting show tonight. We will be having Matt Kowalski is our libertarian caught being good.
Yes.
And he has been caught doing some really phenomenal live streaming and also videography of all of the delightfulness that is happening in our state, specifically in Brooklyn Center. And I think most people have heard of what's happening in Brooklyn Center. An absolutely all around tragic thing. Like, just every time you think it can't get sadder or more worse, it just does.
Well, it does. And you think, like, this will never happen again, and then it does, and again.
Right.
And
So,
it likes you.
yeah. So for those that are living under a rocker, I don't know.
There might be. Or time travelers who are watching our show going,
Right.
what the hell was they talking about?
Yes. So we are having the Chauvin trial going on right now
Right now.
in Minnesota. And that's from
Last year.
yeah, like early summer.
Yeah.
And that was a shooting of a person by police. Or no. Sorry. We have a lot of them to pick from.
Oh my God, I know.
This was where a police officer had restrained a person, put his knee on the back of his neck. And then the question being decided in court is, did he die from that?
Yes.
And so that is what's being decided in court. And it sparked protests and uprisings and riots, because I can categorize those as three different things.
Yes, they are.
Not just through Minnesota, but all through the country. And last year it had resulted in, we had martial law. Yeah. They don't like to say that we did, but we had martial law. When you have the National Guard coming through, and it is solely under the direction of your governor, and keep in mind, your governor is the head of the National Guard.
That's right.
So let's not pretend he's acting in his capacity as an elected official. He's acting in his capacity as the head of the National Guard.
Okay.
And, you know, we had curfews. So we had all this bullshit, right?
It was a nightmare.
Yeah, it was a nightmare. Like, we could smell, like where I lived, we could just smell stuff burning.
I lived hours away and the sky was hazy.
I mean, it was just
all summer. And everything was burning.
Yeah. And you had peaceful protests. You had uprisings, which I categorize as people are reacting violently, but they are reacting violently towards the state to enact change, right?
Yes.
And then you also had looting and burning, which I put in an entirely different category. That's opportunistic.
Yes.
Right?
And it sucks, but it doesn't
care. Yeah, they don't particularly care that injustice happened. They're just like, looking to capitalize.
People are distracted. I'm going to go take some TVs.
Exactly. So three different categories. Yes. So we had that happening spread across the country. I mean, it was crazy.
It was.
And then now we have this trial going on. And what happens is we have a young guy getting pulled over, I think, for tabs.
Yeah. It was tabs. Stupid. It was something that shouldn't happen.
Yeah, it was his mother's vehicle.
Right.
And I believe he called her to get the insurance information. And while he was doing that, they ran his information and found out, oh, well, there's an outstanding warrant. And it was, I believe, 2 misdemeanors. And so they go to take him into custody. And it appears this whole thing is biffed.
All of
it. The arresting officer, first of all, is trying to arrest him up against the car, but directly where the door is open. He didn't move him to where the doors are shut.
Yes.
Big error. Okay. Then he goes to slap the cuffs on. And if a person is going to resist or have a freak out moment, it's right when the cuffs touch their wrist.
Yeah.
Like that's, okay.
It's cold and it shocks them.
Yeah, it just is one of those moments. And he biffs that and has to try to regroup the handcuffs with one hand. The senior officer moves in. She appears to think she has pulled her taser. And she didn't. It was her firearm.
How do you get those mixed up? Like,
because you're not looking at the weapon. You are looking in the car. You have reached for your whichever.
Yeah.
She reached on the wrong side of her belt.
But even so,
the taser is on your weak side.
Yeah.
But you would reach over with your dominant hand. Oh. Firearm is on your dominant side. And she did this instead of this.
How about not use either?
So, well, I mean, it's tabs. Seriously. I mean, the person's going to turn off tabs. You already know who it is.
Even if you're just going to tase someone for tabs, that seems crazy too.
Right. Exactly. So that happened, and the person died, you know.
It was
Um,
shot, and it was a
so just
horrific.
every which way you can cut this, awful. I mean, it's just awful. And then it got more awful, and then it got more awful. And so we are seeing the same things again. We are seeing peaceful protests.
Right.
We are seeing um, uprising, and we are seeing opportunistic looting. Not so much
Again.
murder this time, but looting. Uh, and we're also again seeing a crap, frankly, a crap police response.
Yes.
Of course, our king
Huh.
decided to
Money.
lock us down in curfew again and
Again.
roll out the National Guard and put us under martial law again, because I guess that's what you do, you
Yeah.
know. Um, and it's maddening. I mean, it's absolutely maddening. But so we are going to have. Do I think it was appropriate for the police chief to resign, or do
Cop
you think
out.
it was a cop out? So there appeared to be some training issues. I'm just going to say that.
Yes. That
Uh,
seems.
yeah. What I'm really unhappy about is the forced firing / resignation of the city manager.
Yeah,
That
that
was
didn't.
dumb. That was inappropriate. That was just
That bothered me in a way that it was just so surprising they didn't make a comment, and that they were fired because they wanted to see what was going on, because it sounded like the police effed it up. So they're like, I don't think we should comment until we get more information, and then they were fired for that.
well. And the city manager said, "We're going to do the process. We believe in due process."
Yes.
Oh, and he was very firm. This is going to play out, but we're going to do it how it's supposed to be done, and we are going to dot those I's and cross those T's. And
That makes sense.
that is exactly what you want in a person in that position. They were
Absolutely.
not freaking out. They
Calm.
were very resolute. And I will tell you, he has an excellent reputation as a city manager. Just stupid. Absolutely, absolutely stupid.
Yeah.
So, I mean, awful situation all around. And I can't see, you can see. Is Matt in our green room
He
yet?
says he's having some trouble getting logged on, but he'll be on in just a minute. He's
Okay.
tweaking on getting it going.
Got it. Okay. So tonight, we will, as soon as he gets situated with his technical difficulties. So we have Matt Kowalski, and Matt Kowalski um, was the executive director for Libertarian Party of Minnesota, but he also is he heads his own independent journalism and media organization. And so we will be chatting with him. He has been covering what has been happening. Um, he has been out live streaming, videotaping. So he has been out in Brooklyn Center where all of this is taking place and getting kind of a firsthand look at it. I'm sure many of us have been watching live streams. We've
Yeah.
been watching video. But to find out from someone who's been there, and then also to find out what is it like to be independent journalism, an independent journalist during these types of situations.
Right? It's kind of amazing. And you get to see a whole different side of the news than you see on network TV.
Yeah. And I see in some of the comments, yeah, yet to accidentally shoot anyone. Have any of you ever had this luxury? Jared, I'm gonna challenge you on that. I don't think it's a luxury.
Mm-mm.
I think it's something, and she's charged. She's going to go to a trial, whether she's convicted or not. I mean, we'll see. But there's no luxury in that. You
Mm-mm.
live with that for the rest of your life. And I I don't know how a person can.
No.
I don't know how you can. I mean, and I don't think it's a luxury to be able to run someone over with a car either.
No.
And I completely get challenging of police on this and all that kind of stuff, but and this is not an excuse, because there isn't one. There's some mistakes you don't ever come back from.
No. And this is one of them.
There's no way you make up for that. There just isn't, ever.
No. And it's I don't even know. I mean, I don't even know what to say. It's just I can't even know what it's like to be a police officer and have to deal with these sorts of decisions. Here's Matt. But it is it's terrifying. And I see him. He's talking in the background. Okay. Should we bring him on? So this is Matt.
Let's bring him on.
Okay, I was totally talking there. Hi, everybody.
Hey, Matt.
Good to see you.
Good
Sorry,
to
I
see
was
you.
trying to get a code going, and I'm on Chrome now. We're okay.
Yes,
Perfect,
yes,
perfect.
it does like Chrome much better. Yeah, you're correct. So it's been an eventful few days. What all have you been doing in covering the events that are happening in Brooklyn Center?
Okay. So first of all, I'm an independent journalist, but I do a lot of freelance stuff, and I work for a news agency. And so, being involved in local politics and media, I get a lead on stories. And so I pitch things. And then sometimes, they hear about things, they let me know. They know I call in, I'm going with my tripod and my camera. Minneapolis has just been this epicenter since, first of all, the mask stuff this year, the Floyd stuff, the dominoes from the Floyd protests and riots just went across the country. So Minnesota's this epicenter. And so now when something happens, we have a team basically coming in, Edgar, Raphael, and Mason. You guys know Mason.
Yep.
And so, whenever this happens, and unfortunately another person was shot by the police, that's going on. So that's why we're in Brooklyn Center. That's where we're here. We're here now. So I've been, I get the rallies. There's usually a rally protest. There's people that are actually getting behind police accountability, doing legislation. You see the protests, you see the rallies. Qualified immunity apparently just passed in the House or something today, 9-7.
Yes, which is good.
Liability insurance, which, to me is just very libertarian, a lot of this stuff. And I know the local LPMN has signed on to that. So,
yes.
And Holbrook, the chair, not a lot of people know this, but he's actually, he's a victim of police brutality when he was trying to get signatures in 2014 when he was trying to become governor, and there was an apology and everything. So he's been out there in the streets too, my good friend.
Yes,
so I have that connection as well. My interest really, I love filmmaking. I love journalism. I love media, and I love to be there. When I like the peaceful stuff, but I like the rhetoric. And basically what I do is I go and I cut little packages that go out to the world, and other news places can buy them and make their own news and have their own anchor. But I have a trove of all this footage. I've been to January 6th. I was over at, when the insurrection occurred or whatever. So there's a huge story to be told. Even with the Libertarian Party locally, when they were doing all this ballot access stuff, we're doing marijuana coalitions. We're doing all these things. Capitol shuts down. There's chains all over it. So I just think, to me, that this is like a revolution right now, and we're living. I don't know if this is like the civil rights or whatever. I think there's maybe a police accountability thing that's going on right now, but it's very interesting to be in it. So to get back to your question. We've been shooting rallies, but their protests. Now this woman that is accused of shooting the person that we all saw the video with.
Yeah, Officer Potter. Yeah,
was charged.
No longer officer. She has resigned, so she is no longer an officer.
And then she was charged, and now she's on bail. So I heard that out on the street today. From the protest. And then last night, it just got crazy. You've got the police, the National Guard showed up, and then you have the movement on one side, and then, that stuff sells. So you have the rallies and the rhetoric and stuff, but then you have just the crazy, clashy stuff that they need to get out there. So I was out there last night and my ears were still ringing. I think I got hit by a car. I'm not sure.
Oh my
I don't know
God,
if
dude.
it was like in the road or if they stopped, but like I was filming a gentleman who was, he was kind of grandstanding or whatever. And they were saying the media to go. And, I got my press pass, the lights are coming at me, I'm like, hey. And, I get it. And then they come and, it's just, is this it? Is this Bedlam? Are they cracking down? And so I run and I'm trying to get my camera, as I'm running backwards and you can see like stuff, and then just boom. And like, literally it was like, and he's okay. But like the lady got out of her car and she's like, are you okay? And I'm just like, why are you in the middle of the road? But we'll talk about that later, So it's crazy stuff. I was out in the riots in the precinct, just all that stuff in St. Paul, which Chris Holbrook's neighborhood was over there.
Yes.
It was all burning. So it's just been a year of mid unrest, for me.
So the area where this happened, I was watching the live stream and I recognized all the houses because I lived 1 block away.
In Brooklyn Center?
Yeah. So where it happened, if you cut back through the yard, I was on the other side because I lived on Kyle Avenue.
Okay. So
like 63rd and Kyle.
Yeah.
So we're looking at it and I'm like, I know that house. I know that house. So it was odd to see that. And then, like the police station, everything around it, like Scoreboard Pizza. I'm like, no, not the Scoreboard Pizza.
It's a good place.
They have such delicious pizza. But, seeing like where you lived, like right where you lived.
Yeah. I mean, and I've been in DC, been in Minnesota. I live in Crystal. This is my town, like next over.
Yeah.
Like, a few miles away. So I totally feel you. It's insane. It's just.
So what was it like last night?
Yeah.
When you went out last night, what happened? What were you covering? What did you see last night?
Okay. Well, basically they like to get you out there when the clashes are kind of happen. So I guess I should tell you what I did before. I had to go check out the officer that her house is like a fortress right now. Like everyone's blocking that up because they were saying that we were gonna, they were gonna burn it or something like that. So I did a story on there and I was getting done. And the other people,
were there a lot of people around the house or not really?
No, it was, you could not park on the road. There was little signs that said no parking everywhere. I knew I found the right place and I scrolled up and like, hey, I'm with the media. They made me go to like a park and then I had to walk a trail. And there was like 3 activist types there. And then there was a few like photography press. And then there was like 6 or 7 cops. And I actually got to film I think it was the police chief of Champlin talking to some of them. And, like I said, I can only give 2-minute blips usually out there, but there's really good conversations that are happening out there. So actually, my other people were covering it live, and they were actually, sometimes I guess they don't like the live, and they were actually asked to leave. So I wasn't even supposed to be out. I was just on backup. So I shot in there, and I have pretty good rapport. I think, I've been in there 5 years. I've been doing this. 2015, I've been doing this, but yeah, you could smell it in the air and I knew it was coming. So I just got out the car. I parked where the dollar store used to be, I guess, because that got hit pretty badly.
Yeah.
And then, grabbed my tripod, got my shotgun mic, got in there, slung it over, walked in. And it was like perfect timing for me because like they had like, I thought it was in Hong Kong. They got like these umbrellas that they're all like,
those are Home Depot umbrellas.
Is that what they are?
Really?
Absolutely. Right when I saw them, those black and white umbrellas. They're really big and they're black and white. Home Depot.
They must work well. I will say, I just got a text that a Star Tribune guy got his fingers broken from the flashbangs. He didn't have an umbrella, but I just found out about that too. But so I got there and it was like literally you see water bottles throwing and the National Guard was just arriving. So I literally came in for just the boom, 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 everything. And so I was there for like 20, 30 minutes and then I had my package and I booked it out and then I came home and edited it and then I uploaded it to the server to the news agency and kicked it out and now it's circulating. So,
So are you able to talk with many of the protesters or people that are engaging in uprising or any of the police or National Guard? You've been able to do many of those types of interviews?
I got to interview someone in the National Guard the day after the first riots kind of were quelched, when the Guard came in and all the arrests were made. I'm able to talk to people, here and there. The cops and Guard, they don't usually like to go on the record because they have, they're not able to because of their position.
Yeah.
I am able to interview people there and there. I'm just very delicate because usually people are mourning very hard. These things are like, there's the accountability part, but like, this is how people are mourning, like that people that have stolen lives, like they just kind of, it's weird. It's kind of like a calming effect for me. But I don't necessarily try to talk too much there. I try to be a fly on the wall. I like to be the guy in the back of the room, and I just like to focus and I like to get my shot, and I just like to really, get what the person's saying and just get it on the record, centered, looking nice, so that, I think this is history. It's like, think if Martin Luther King, if you were then, and like if you were filming Martin Luther King and now, and like, I think about stuff like that. I don't know where these people are going to be 10, 20 years. Are they going to be in leadership? Like, are we going to lose some people? Do people die? Like, I don't know. So it's so important for me just to have this record, and religiously in a weird way. So if that answers your question.
One of the things that has puzzled me is, we seem to have this big swing where everyone was talking about criminal justice reform last year. It was at the top of everyone's conversation. And then we got to the election, and people who appeared to be the most concerned about criminal justice reform voted for two of the most evil motherfuckers for being against criminal justice reform that they could have possibly ever voted for.
Yeah.
And I was, I was flabbergasted on that. You could not have looked at either an architect or a person who is so embracing of this idea of no law too tiny to not kill someone or throw them into jail over. And yet now here we are again, and we're starting to have this conversation about criminal justice reform again. And I guess I'm scratching my head on, what do people want? What are they expecting? Do they have a firm idea of what reform they want? And is it only about cops? Is this only about cops? Or is this about the stupid ass laws that we have cops enforce, and the crappy ass court system that we have, that instead of being the neutral party deciding, is firmly embedded on the side of police? Like, they're besties, right? And they're against the defendant. Both of them are against the defendant, and that's not how it's supposed to be set up, but that's how it is in practice. So when you're out and about and you're hearing people renewing this call, not just the people who are grieving, that's a different category, and I can't even imagine for them. But for people who are there and they're really active and engaged in wanting criminal justice reform, what are you hearing from them? What's the common refrains that they're looking for?
It sounds weirdly libertarian to me, like what they're doing. Like when they get, because like they'll get up and they'll tell you. I think I was at the governor's mansion at a protest on qualified immunity, insure the police, 48 hours, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, with the democratization of the internet, I feel like everyone's learning very fast about the history of this country and kind of like the skeletons we have.
Yeah.
And I think everybody wanted Trump so bad, and like the media was just really gunning with the propaganda going. I mean, you saw Twitter and like Facebook shut down. But yeah, I think for libertarians, you can literally still enjoy this movement because you can go, see, told you, look, look what the guy's doing. Look at the kids in the cages. Look at what we've been saying, since, blue in the face.
Ooh.
And everyone's seeing it in real time. So for me, I feel like we've arrived. Like in 4 years, the mental capacity of history and, even the Constitution, I think they say, it was really just for kind of like rich landowners in a sense and for them to have arms and quell insurrections by like people of color or whatever. And I'm hearing now everyone's like, let's have liberty for everyone. Let's have sovereignty for everyone. And even tonight, the rhetoric that I was hearing come, very pro-gun, very pro-2A. You bring up the thing about, which I think is so important, the victimless crime. Video killed the radio star. We got video cameras on people's chests or whatever. Now when someone accidentally drops a gun or grabs the wrong taser and shoots, it's accountable right there. Now it's a screw up. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to start anything. But how many times was there not a camera and go, oh, God, throw a gun next to him? And I know that's very bad to even say that. I have no proof. Or, oh, okay, we're going to get you through this. Yeah. You'll ruin your life. He went for your gun. I'm just saying, like, accountability is coming. Like, I think once these video cameras became law, then you got accountability and transparency. So
yeah. Well, and what I'm hoping is that people start to realize this vicious circle that we're.
Do you want me to show that?
That we're in. Yeah.
Like that.
So we have this vicious circle, and people are very focused on the bad law enforcement part, right? And they're seeing the bad community relations. And they're feeling the bad public safety, but they're not realizing their fault and their role in this, which is asking for bad laws, like asking for them, asking for stupid, bad laws to be put on the books, and then asking for those bad, stupid, victimless crimes to be enforced. Right? Which sets up these bad situations, which then just like destroys communities and makes us all less safe. We're all less safe. And I feel like we're having a lot of conversation on the bad law enforcement. And I'm hoping, please, can we start realizing the step before that in that vicious circle?
Yeah. And you said something really good, which is, are we asking these guys to do too much? And I'll tell you what, it comes down to the drug war too, all these victimless crimes and stuff and the militarization of police. Since we were founded in 1971 as a result of Nixon's drug laws, right? Am I right about the history for the party? So 50 years this is going on. And I think the movement is also aware of the drug law thing. So Rome wasn't built in a day. Time moves very slow. But I will say this, like this movement can like take down a city. Like it can, so I don't know. I'm just there to film it, but it's.
So one thing I was noticing is the first night of protests, because it was very ad hoc, right? It was people joined in mourning, and then people heard about it, and then there was anger, and they went to express that anger at the police station. And the police reacted with tear gas, rubber bullets. Yeah, I mean, we know the standard thing now, right? We know the standard thing. And I was watching it, and I was like, masks. I saw ballistic shields.
Yep.
There were leaf blowers.
Oh, yeah.
There were fire buckets to put over the top. People had fire blankets. Right. They were more prepared. It didn't mean that they were by any means like a match. For once the police really started just like. Once you heard the volleys of tear gas sound like the grand finale at a fireworks show.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like,
right?
Yeah, we're done. We're done.
Bam.
Yeah. But we are starting to see protesters that want to engage in like a insurrection or an uprising or, that type of thing. They're starting to armor up. right?
Mhm.
Not a lot, but they're starting to armor up. So this is upping the ante, and this is showing a level of seriousness that I think people in power need to. I'm sure they are paying attention to it, but the rest of us who just want to be able to like get our McDonald's and we're annoyed by this, we need to start paying attention to it too.
Yes.
Yeah. And look, there's a reason for I don't like violence, you know, I'm a libertarian. I don't like even being around it, but
We're lovers, not fighters.
That's
yeah.
right.
Well, and as pragmatic libertarians, civil libertarians, we want to work within the system, right?
Yep.
And the NAP, right? But that's part of the power that I'm seeing is that when they do go take out these businesses, I mean, it's straight up rules for radicals. Like
It is.
they attack the taxpayers to put pressure on, you know, the government, because that's who they'll listen to. And yeah, they had leaf blowers and like, you know, umbrellas, and this person is resigned. This person is charged. I don't know what goes on next. And I will just add to what else you said about the flashbangs and the militarization against the water bottles and stuff.
Yeah.
One of the speakers at the rally today was talking about it used to be dogs, right? It used to be, you know, what was he saying? Hoses.
Batons, hoses.
And, you know, spraying or whatever. And I don't think video, the way it is now, I don't think you could do that now. So like literally they're doing like this militarizing like sonic, and so like they're saying these are the dogs now, these are this, you know, and literally like
it's more video game.
Almost powerless because you know you can't have a Kent State or you're going to have the whole world against you. So it's very interesting to watch how a small group of people have this strength and coordination, you know, to watch it all unfold. It's interesting.
Yeah, I cannot imagine releasing dogs into a crowd anymore.
No.
I can't see that ever happening.
No.
No.
You would have like
Someone
again
would be filming.
rioting. What's that?
People would be filming, and you know, it would be everywhere.
Bad PR. Like the show. But that was very. I'm not saying like, you know, they're going to have a trial and they're going to have a verdict, but that was the worst PR thing in the world for government, like with that video going on. And yeah, you talk about the hoodie too. Trayvon Martin, remember, like he got taken with the hoodie. The hoodie made a comeback. I nominate the girl in the hoodie that took that video or whatever that went around. She's my Time Person of the Year right there.
Yeah.
It's like that prop. She framed it. The symmetry as a filmmaker. The man's head was on top. You know, you see MPD on the thing. The guy's head's on the tire. And now you see a video after where he's like playing with his finger or whatever. So I watched a lot of the trial too, but
right.
So it's just out in the open, you know, video killed the radio star. And I think that's where a lot of the propaganda and just this unrest is coming from, because the information's everywhere.
So our governor, in response to this, did a curfew, which, okay, if you want to call it a curfew, but really it was an action of martial law because brought military in and and you weren't to leave your home. Like you couldn't leave your home. And I can tell you that as an elected official, there was no consultation with anyone.
Right.
The governor's office did not consult with county, because our county commissioners found out about the curfew through the news. Did not consult with law enforcement throughout the five county metro area. No consultation at all. And I say consultation because that should be the bare minimum before he would do any action. And I am not justifying his action because I am pretty angry about the response to this. But just no care. I mean, this whole year, he has just demonstrated time and time again that he does not care whatsoever about our residents being able to have control over their lives.
Yeah.
Whatsoever. I mean, he just doesn't care. It's not even a thought.
And that's probably a whole nother
thought.
show. But yeah, I mean, with the emergency powers and the curfew and everything, it's like You know, part of me thinks it's like the fringe of society is like pushing us towards a fascist police state. Like, is that the Twilight Zone episode summary that we're in right now?
I know.
Weird.
Well, I think we're in the bad timeline, and I know that because all these guys that I know have grown the mustache and goatee, and that was always the signal in Star Trek that you're in the bad timeline.
Oh my God.
Are you wearing the orange shirt and you are going to die when you do that too?
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't want to be Yogi Johnson. I'm going to keep shaving.
Exactly. So
Please keep shaving. I want to be on the good timeline.
Yeah.
So are you ever concerned about your safety, and what do you do when you're out filming for your safety?
I don't know. One time I got too close and I got punched in the face. My glasses didn't even fall off, so it was okay. But it was something that they didn't go. But I like walked over to Edgar. I'm like, man, you know. And what was happening is I got too close to something at the precinct, and they had somebody I think on watch or whatever. And you know, I was kind of my camera, and I saw somebody walk in the corner, and I'm like, oh, I'll just go and get that over there. And then right as I go, no, and I don't know. I think I gave it that, so he might have got this, and it might, but. I guess it comes with the territory. I'm lucky. And I like ran into a car, but I don't know. I love what I do. So I don't know. And I'm never trying to dox or humiliate anyone.
Right.
I'm just trying to get the story. So I think people know that too. And I always identify myself who I'm with. I give cards out. Like, I don't care. I mean, I'll show my press pass. I'll say, this is going to Germany. This is going to go da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
And, you know, even the cops yesterday, like when I went to that after, I filmed that, I go, you know, I like to do nice stories. I don't like the, and they're like, and I go, try to stay warm. And, but I don't ever want to be mad at anyone. I just want to kind of get the story, and I don't want to insert myself. And I think a lot of people that have issues with this is that they're very opinionated and maybe doing some doxing. And that's where that tension comes from. And I just want zero drama. I like to operate with impunity, and just what you see is what you get with me. And, I'll give my card and go, here, go on, do an interview with me, and I'll send you a link. If you send me.
I like what you said about, and that is true. Compassion comes through on all the work that you do. That is absolutely true. And I love what you're saying about you don't want to insert yourself. That's what our media is like. That's your gold standard that you live up to.
And that's my ethics. That's my ethic gold standard. I don't want my opinion in there. I want to literally document. I'm an observational filmmaker. That's it.
Yeah. So. Well, Matt, do you have anything else? We were only going to have you on for a short time because I know you're super busy, and I am extremely thankful that you were able to.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. Mason's actually out there right now. I shot the rally, so I've been downloading my footage while we're talking. It's like a 45-minute thing, so I'll edit out my package. I may be out again tonight, but no, this was nicer than me being out like in the thing and trying to talk. This was way cooler, so I'm glad this worked out.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Matt. So
yeah, keep killing it, ladies. You guys are doing great.
Thank you so much,
Matt. He's amazing.
So amazing.
Yeah, he's pretty amazing. Yeah. We owe so much to our independent journalists and our live streamers that just go out there and they don't insert themselves in it. They're documenting it, but they're also just letting you see what's happening, what's really happening. And then you make up your mind over what you're seeing and how you're interpreting it.
Yeah, I love that. And we need to have them because sometimes I feel like the majors are a little corrupted and the police are telling them to film it a certain way, and we need them.
Absolutely. So people, we're getting towards the end. I want you to start thinking about your one awesome thing and then share it in the comments. So one awesome thing that happened to you this week that you want to share with everyone. And in the meantime, we're going to have Heather's going to give us just a tip, and then we'll come back with a little bit of really good libertarian news.
Yes. Ta-da! Just a tip. Boom, boom, boom. I feel like there should be some music with that. This week's Just a Tip is because we drink a lot on this show. And one of the things I was always worried about is like you drink a lot and then you go, God, that beer or wine was really good. What did I drink? And then you can't remember what it was. But technology has helped us. I mean, there's like non-technology ways. Yeah. Or you can look in your garbage can and go, was it that one? Was it the other one? Was it, and then you get the same shitty one again and you drink it and you go, no, it was the other one. God. So, yeah. And, sometimes you're just like, what was it? So, in the old days before technology, I had a little notebook and I would try to write stuff, but then it'd get all crumpled up and then you'd spill because you're drinking and you go, what the hell? What did I drink? I have no idea. The new thing is with your phone, there's apps for that. And one of my favorite apps is Untapped. Let me see if I can just bring it up. I should have done this earlier when we were talking, but like Untapped, burp, 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 burp. So Untapped is great. You can it doesn't show up I'm trying to get closer. Untapped is great. You can every time you go have a beer out, you can rate it. You can go, was it great? Was it terrible? And you can take notes on stuff for yourself. And it's just great. So, Heather, what if I don't drink beer? There's another app for winos like me called Vivino. I always want to call it Vimeo, and that's not it, but it's Vivino, and that's a new one to me. And it's very similar, but this one's red instead of yellow. So you can get your favorite wines. You can pick what you like. You can write down your stuff. So don't rely on your addled alcoholic brain to try to remember which wine you liked. Use an app. And there's probably one for cocktails too, but I didn't look that far into it. I'm always drinking more wine and beer anyway, but why not? I'm sure if I Google this stuff, there's probably one for cocktails too. So that is my Just the Tip.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
So we have some good news tonight that I want to share.
Yes, I love good news.
Okay. So we have 2 more elected officials for the Libertarian Party.
Yay! Here, I'll put that up.
I listed a bunch last week. We have even more now. So I want to say congratulations to Sean Loma. He is tomorrow. He'll be sworn in tomorrow for Bayview Water and Sewer District Board, and that's in Idaho. So that is pretty dang exciting.
I kind of love it.
Yeah, and then we have another Libertarian. This person was elected in 2020.
Oh.
For Amityville, not Amityville, that's something entirely
I was going to say, though, the place with the house that has bleedy walls and the flies and stuff and the murder.
No.
Maybe not. No. Okay.
Amity City Council, and that's in Oregon. That is Sandy MacArthur. So she was elected, and she just joined the family. So we want to welcome her home to the Libertarian Party. We love you. Thank you for joining us. Very excited about that. So we have 2 more Libertarian elected officials. So that is always exciting. Yes. Other Libertarian news. Let's see. I want to pull this up. So we have all of our dates and times now for the regional trainings that we're going to be doing. So that I'm beyond excited about. And registration, you hear it here first, registration will be opening on Friday. There is a cap on all of these, an attendance cap. I get multiple calls every day asking when registration is going to come up. And so this is for campaign teams for certification, and then it's also for affiliate leaders. We are doing this by region, so that these would be spread throughout the country. but you do not have to go to the training in your region. You can go to training that is in a different region if that date works better for you. Perhaps it's even closer than the one in your region, whatever. So those are the dates and the cities. So that is beyond exciting. I'm really happy that that is all set and ready. So Friday
Awesome.
registration opens. Yay!
Are you going to
And
be
then
at every single one of those?
I will be at every single one of
Oh my
those.
God, that's awesome. Yay.
I
Congratulations.
know, I'm excited. I've been getting my plane ticket set, and yeah,
Cool.
I'm pretty excited about it. So I can't wait. And we have some really good trainers. We have Caitlin Cloven is a trainer. We have Mike Gowan. We have Andy Burns. We have Michelle McClutchan. We have Tyler Harris, who is the executive director of the Libertarian Party. Myself, we have Tara DeSisto, who is the development director for the Libertarian Party. We have Becca Congdon, who is also part of the development team. So, I mean, we have like an amazing team of trainers.
Everybody's rock stars, dude.
Yeah.
This is going to be the best.
Yeah, so that's pretty damn exciting. And then libertarian issue, but from a very surprising person. Former GOP Texas Governor Rick Perry came out today vocally supporting a clinical study of magic mushrooms in the treatment of PSTD.
Excellent.
Who would have thought?
I wouldn't have thought. I wouldn't have put that name there, but cool.
No, I'm rather surprised by that. So
pleasant surprise.
Yeah, people can grow, people can change, people can find their little germ of liberty,
even everywhere in little mushroom germs. I like that. That is awesome news.
Yeah. So, and I think there is like this growing sentiment faster than I ever would have thought regarding mushrooms.
Yeah, I think they're okay. It's always like you know a grandma who's like this helped my glaucoma, this helped my depression, and it's like, well, the grandmas are doing it, and grandmas are cool and they're okay. So if it's helping them, why would we stop helping grandmas? So I mean, like usually, like you just got to get a good a very non-threatening face to it, and that changes hearts and minds. That is very cool. I see that there's some good news that's popping up.
Oh, yes.
Can I put that up? I don't know what
Yes.
this is, but my greatest thing this week is my wife and I bought another Jersey cow. This dude have a calf in a few weeks, so start milking it. I love it. Baby cow.
Baby cow.
That is so awesome.
That is awesome.
I like that. Do you want to know what my news is? I'm going to show it, and it's going to be really weird, so I'm going to lean into the camera. I got my in out, and then all the attachments are off my teeth.
Off!
I had straight teeth.
Oh my God! Heather, that's amazing!
Yay! So it was a long time coming. A lot of people don't know this, but I had Invisalign during this pandemic. I was wearing a mask most of the time, so no one even noticed. But once we get back to normal, they'll be like, didn't you have like different teeth before? Like, yes.
We live in Minnesota. We're never allowed to go back to normal.
No, we're not. That's
never
the joy of it all. So never. I know. Someday. Either that or we're all going to Greece with Kara, and it'll be awesome.
Yes, that would be spectacular.
So that's my good news, but I know you had some good news this week.
Yes, absolutely. So my good news, I went to visit my son and his fiance in Colorado.
There they are.
And aren't they cute?
They're so cute.
Very adorable. So they're getting married. But do you see that fantastic spread of food and that fried chicken?
Oh my God.
She found gluten-free fried chicken. And I'm not talking like that crappy, like chicken strips and that kind of stuff. Like seriously, really good, amazing fried chicken. Like I ate 2 pieces of it, and they found me like
Ooh,
gluten-free everything. It was like gluten-free land there. We went to
well,
one place. I had a gluten-free Monte Cristo.
I've never heard of that anywhere. That's
Me neither.
amazing.
Like I haven't had a piece of fried chicken. It's got to
Forever.
be 15 plus years.
Unless you make it
Minimum.
yourself. Like in a restaurant, you wouldn't get it.
No. And I haven't made it myself because other people have tried to make it. And they're like, yeah, that sucked. That did not work out well. And I've tried to do like breaded chicken strips and that didn't turn out well. So I wasn't going to like waste making fried chicken, which is not easy because oh my God, this was like crispy deliciousness. Frick, it was perfect. And it was beautiful weather and we were out in the park and it was amazing. And that poor little blondie got burnt.
Did she?
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Like,
God.
burnt that poor little thing. And yeah, I mean we had great food and it was a relaxing visit. And
that sounds perfect.
I miss those freaking rats.
Oh, me too. They're cute.
Got to play with the grand kittens.
Oh, they're so cute.
The Blackie is so nice, little Onyx.
Did you get scratched by the other one?
Yeah, Aura's the mean one.
She's the
hisser. Like she would come out at night because I was on the fold out in the living room, and she would put her front paws on the edge of the bed, and she would look at me and make sure I knew. And then she would just be like, "Wah, wah, wah, wah," and then hiss, and then leave.
It's like, oh, and then I'm done.
It's like, I just want you to know you should leave. I mean,
I hate you. Bye.
Yeah. And I have a multitude of scratch and bite marks.
You're just trying to get her to love you eventually, and she will. Or she'll get old and then she'll stop trying to fight so hard.
I become senile.
I love it.
It's bad when you're hoping for the cat to get senile.
Oh, sometimes it's a good thing though. Then they chill out. I know, like kittens sometimes are insane. So yeah, but I'm so glad you got to go visit. They're wonderful kids.
That was great.
We need to invent teleportation because I'd love to just go visit for a day and then just zap right back. Maybe I wouldn't zap back though. Minnesota kind of sucks lately. I might just stay.
I got my flight for $52 round trip.
Holy buckets, that's cheap. I know.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think I want to travel. So if they could just keep prices really low, that'd be awesome.
Well, you'll have to come with me to some libertarian things.
I'm thinking about it.
Hang out with all these crazy libertarians across the country.
I love crazy libertarians. They're the best people.
I know. I can't wait. I'm like looking at all these regional trainings and everything, and I'm like, I can't wait to see everyone.
I can do it all. I know it's like the best time ever. And we have our Minnesota one coming up in May too. So I mean, like we got lots of stuff going on.
And we have evil plans for it.
Oh, I know.
I'm not going to tell you until afterwards.
It's going to be brilliant. And you guys will hear all about it later.
Yes.
Or
you'll
you can
probably hear about it on the police blotter.
I have this thought that like I doubt it because you and I go to bed a little early. So if
all
we're
I have
going
to
to
say
get arrested, it's early.
I'm keeping my bag packed so that when Cambria kicks our asses out, I just have to pick up my bag and walk out.
I think that's a good idea anyway, because then we can just drive to your house. It'll be fine. No need to get arrested. Woo, woo. Oh, I love that. So many good things to look forward to. Much good news. I like having some positive, awesome things to think about.
Yeah, because the secret is like before the show, Heather and I were both like, this has been such a hard day. I don't know how we're even going to do the show. Oh my God. But as usual, by the end of the show, hanging out with everyone,
it's super fun.
Pretty happy.
Yes. When you get cool people, everything is possible.
Yes.
So it's 9:00. I guess we're kind of done. Did we have anything else we needed to say before we were going to go?
I don't think so. Thanks,
Matt Kowalski, for joining us today.
Yeah.
It was
and
so
being
awesome.
able to be on for so long.
Yes, I stay
Really
safe,
appreciate
Matt, because you're doing like great the libertarian God's work. I don't know, like
Yeah,
how we
he's doing
know that, but
Nolan's. He's
doing
doing Nolan's
Nolan's work. But be safe out there. We love to watch your show and see what you're up to. So, and I hope you all join us next week, and we'll have more good news and fun stuff to tell you about. And have a great week, guys. We love you. Aww.